Good morning. Is it morning still? What time is it? About 12 now, isn't it?
One.
1. Oh, well, time got away. Anyway, good afternoon. We're going to try to do a short little video or such on our new bunny. So I thought you guys might want a little bit of an update here. So I'm going to switch to let you see what's going on this way. All right. So I don't know if we did it. We did a video when she was nesting, and I don't know if you can see it that well here, but I wanted you to kind of see what she did. She kind of matted that down, and she put a lot of straw back here in the box. And so we did that video that day, and I thought, well, we probably got maybe, I don't know, a few days before she starts, maybe 4 or 5 days before she is ready to kindle. And then what actually happened was I came back the next day and I saw she had pulled fur. And if you can see, I'll see if I can come around this side. I seen a lot of fur there along the edges. I don't know if you can see that well. It was a lot more prominent that day. And I said, oh, she's already starting to pull fur, so it can't be long. Well, then I go around to the nest and I see, well, I'll show you here. And I seen this big pile of fur. And I said, oh, wow, she's getting close. Well, then I noticed as I watched that the fur started moving. And I'm going to set the phone here as I talk and see if you can see there. And I actually just caught the first glimpse of one of the little bunnies. This is the first time I've even laid eyes on them. So that was a privilege for you. But yeah, I noticed the fur started to move. And I'm like, oh my goodness, we've actually got bunnies. So then I get to go back in the house and be like, Valerie, guess what we did? We have bunnies. And so that's the story so far. So far, she's done really well. Valerie said I cannot put her on a video, so I won't do it. She's trying to run, not going to do it. That's husband rule number 1. You can't take pictures of your wife if she's not wanting to. Now, she can take pictures of you anytime. Like you can just get up, you got spit on the side of your face, she can take a picture, but you cannot take a picture of her unless she gives you written consent. But anyway, so the day that Poppy, which is the name of our female rabbit, the day that Poppy kindled, or that's the term for giving birth for rabbits, the temperature dropped to 27 degrees that night. And this is our first time with the rabbits, and we were kind of freaked out. Like, we got rabbits, we know they're alive, and kind of like Daniel and the king from Daniel and the Lion's Den, he's like up all night worried while Daniel's sleeping. That's kind of what happened with the bunnies. I came out the next day, I seen movement, they're still alive. So several days in, they've done fine. I mean, there's really no problem at all for them. And I don't know if Valerie heard because she was kind of looking off the phone, but I actually caught a glimpse of one of the bunnies just a second ago. And I think I got it on video too. So maybe it depends on how well it shows up. It's pretty exciting. The other thing we're going to do, now watch out, I'm videotaping, so don't cause me to violate the husband rule. Next thing we're going to do is Meg, the rabbit on the other side, she didn't take last time. We tried to breed her with Bucky, so we're going to try again today to see what happens. And hopefully that will work out. But that's just a little bit of an update on the bunny situation here. And as you can see, we've started out with the one cage. We raised them there. We expanded it. I'm going to build at least one more of these before the year's up, before this year's up. Well, no, not before this year's up, sorry. Maybe the first of next year would be a better goal. And then, of course, I've got another long cage we bought here that needs to be built. And it needs to be framed up to meet our standards. And this will probably, I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 smaller cages here. And then we've got that smaller cage there, set of cages there, which will give us 13 cages altogether. And then we've got the 2 over on this, so 15 cages we'll have for the small bunnies as they grow. Just had a conversation with my daughter. She's like, well, why do you want to raise the rabbits and eat them? Of course, I've got one offer for somebody who wants to raise one as a pet, which is fine. I mean, if you want to buy a rabbit and you want to keep it as a pet, they make great pets. I mean, they're not a cat, they're not a dog, they're just their own little animal on pet. They can be trained to a litter box. They're cuddly, they're cute, and we have no problem doing that. But at the same time, we're raising these for our own meat sources on the homestead. The reason why are, well, I could give you the logistical reasons. Of course, they're, produce a lot of meat, small area, little resources. We've talked about that in other videos, but mainly the answer to that question was I want to raise things and make sure they're being raised right. I want them to be healthy. I want them to live a good life, be taken care of, and I don't want them to be tortured and living in their own poo and urine and nastiness, and then they're killed. And I just don't want to do that. I want to know where our food comes from, and we eat meat. We're not vegetarians. We're not vegans, so we eat meat. And if we eat meat, we feel like we have the responsibility to produce it well and make sure it's being produced well. And so that's the purpose of our rabbit industry. And hopefully we can, we've talked to people before that have really enjoyed the idea of raising rabbits. Rabbits is something, doing research on, places like Russia and France and Italy, they eat more rabbit than they eat chicken there. In America, we just gravitated toward the mass production, meat chicken, and that's what we do here. But I think for the homestead, those that are wanting to be self-sufficient, those that want to be able to raise, enough food on their own place to, to give them a stability, a food source, I think rabbits are a good option. And I think it's something that can be developed with the homestead in mind. I think some of the early meat rabbit production, it was trying to replace the chicken, the mass-produced chicken, and that is what it is. But what we're thinking is not mass-producing meat. We're thinking homesteading. We're thinking smaller scale, smaller production. And really the only problem, the only challenge that I anticipate there is just that rabbits reproduce so readily that you got to do something with that meat. You got to be moving that around. So as we go through this experiment, we're sharing this with you so that you can learn from it. So if you got any questions, always leave comments below. We'll be glad to do what we can to answer. And hopefully before too long, you'll get to see some actual baby bunny video. Looking forward to that. So Merry Christmas to everyone. Hope you have a great holiday. And God bless you. We'll talk to you guys later.